What's up YouTube, Derby Weldor here, coming at you with another video, kind of going to do a little project update here. Show y'all some stuff I'm doing. I'm here in Raleigh doing some work. Been a while since I've done a video, so I figured I'd do another work type video, show y'all what I'm up to. I'm in the truck waiting for their forklift operator to get back so we can test out this contraption they want here. It's like a trailer rental place here, and they got this contraption that the forklift that they attach to the forks and forklift for lifting and moving the little office rental trailer things. I'll show y'all here. They broke their old one and I'm building them a new one. I'll show y'all what's going on here. So here's the old one. So what I had to do, there was a piece of tube going through here that has a hitch on it. Your fork slide in here and there, and obviously as you can see this is too thin. They busted it out. It's like about a quarter of an inch, maybe less than a quarter. It may even be 3/16. That's pretty thin stuff. And we go over here. This is the new one. But you can see, new one. Use the Hypertherm plasma cut the holes out. And then I used the Hypertherm again to gouge out everything, gouge that off, and gouge out the welds there. See right here, gouged out those welds, and that right there. And real close, almost done. And of course I ran out of wire. You can see right there, that's all I had to do on that joint right there. And of course the bottom. And I have this up here, but since this is half to half, I'm probably just gonna pull out the seismic wire for it and run seismic wire. Was using 045 T11 Hobart 21B here, but I'm probably gonna pull out the seismic wire for this top here and finish off the rest with seismic. Man, just had it going too. I'm gonna give that a second to cool off. Just lit my friggin' pants on fire. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right there, y'all. That's good stuff right there. Alright, that job's done. I'm at Handy Hugo's here on Leesville on 540. Give me some food, lunchtime, and then I'm gonna run over to Dillon Supply, pick up some steel for the next job, and then drive over to Wendell, which is the other side. Like, here's Raleigh, I'm here, and Wendell's over here, so I gotta go the other side of the city. You know how this goes. You do this for a while, you find out here, you're there, you know, it's all over the place, man. I always spend, you know, I'm pretty sure I drive at least 100 miles a day in this truck. But anyway, more fun and adventure. the shield. So one thing y'all, more observant viewers probably notice is that the truck has been painted. Yeah, nice bright blue. Not bright, but darker, but it's nice and shiny, therefore it looks bright. Got a new paint job, still a few things I gotta do to it, but I tell you what, this year definitely enjoying having that air conditioning, that's for sure. I don't know how I survived so long with no AC in the truck. So that last job used a plasma cutter and a suitcase for, man, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. That's the way to go, guys. And, you know, if you're just starting off, I get it. You know, that shit's expensive, right? You need to focus on your main gear. But once you get on your main gear, hang on 1 second, don't speed up here. Oh yeah, that 120 horsepower speed rolling. Listen to that. Sounds beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh, Raleigh. And now we're at Dillon Supply Warehouse, getting some steel, waiting for them to get it all together. It takes a while, you know. That's the hardest part of the day right here, just sitting here waiting. It about drives me nuts. I just can't sit here all day. It's gonna give me a aneurysm or something, I don't know. I get antsy. I don't like sitting here waiting. I want to be working. But if I could have on this job, I would have just had the steel shipped to the house and then went and did it. But you know, guy got to me later last night about it, so we got to kind of do it all today, and I got to pick it up and whatnot since it's on the way. You know, since Dillon Supply here is basically halfway between the job I was at and halfway to where the job I'm going to is, so it's not so bad. It's just, God, I hate sitting here waiting. At least I got air conditioning now. Alright YouTube, it's the next day here. Whoops, let me clean that off. It's so foggy, stop that. There we go. Next day out here, working on the side of the road on some brush clearing tractors for some DOT contractors. Another one of the things I do here. But check it out, got the truck over here all looking pretty. Look at that right there, man. Nothing looks cooler than that. Right here, we're straightening this out. That right there used to be bent in all the way. You can actually see where the blade was cutting into it. So I took the rosebud torch, heated it up real good in that corner, and stuck the hydraulic porta power in there, and I'm just kind of letting it rest. I find that if I pump it up some, let it rest, and pump it up some and let it rest, it helps spread the metal out. It doesn't want to pop back so fast and as far. So once this is done, there's cracks all over this thing I have to address. There's some cracks up on that boom somewhere I got to deal with. I don't know where they're at, but I'm told they're there, so I got to find them. But this right here, I'll tell y'all, it's a little $200 porta power from Harbor Freight. It's gonna save your back. You ain't gotta sit there and smack, 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 smack with a hammer. Ain't gotta heat and beat, man. You just heat it up, stick that thing in there, and jack it up. Let it sit for a little bit. Go get a sip of water. And what I'm doing, you see, this is back here for the means of safety. I got that back there. So I'm pumping behind it using this mower deck as a shield. So if this thing decides to explode, of course it's going that away, but I'm not in the line of fire and potentially getting hurt by it if it does decide to go pow, right? So it's safer to do it this way than to do it with me sitting there watching. I just pump it up, take a peek, pump it up, take a peek. And since there's so much on this thing, I'm setting up the suitcase to do it. I'm gonna be here all freaking day trying to stick weld this. So now I got some welds there and there. I'm gonna get in the tractor, I'm gonna lay it down flat here. Try to get some tension off it now. Now that we got the welds in place, it should keep the thing from springing back. Now we're gonna make sure blade still clears, which it does. You can see I cut, there was a piece that where it caught, it peeled it in, so I cut it off. You can see the torch marks right there from where I heated it up. We're just gonna track that blade back out. Turn it around a few times. Up right there. Here we go. And it looks like it's about the same distance on the bottom right there as it is on the top right here. So we're pretty close. Maybe half an inch out. But considering how bad bent this thing was, if it's half an inch, you know, this is great if it's only half an inch. And right here, took the plate, kind of made it fit around that corner. Guys, these kind of repairs, this is just how they are, you know. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know exactly which one of you don't do this for a living and have no clue what you're doing when it comes to this, because you're going to be the ones to light me up in the comments and go, oh, that looks like shit, that's not a real repair. Yeah, yep, that's y'all. Y'all are the ones that don't know what you're talking about, don't know what you're doing. Because this is how you fix these things, man. It's a big old crack and a big old hole. Slap a plate over it. It's around a funky corner. Take the hammer, smack it, make it fit. Oh, beautiful. Nice and straight. Took a while. So, finally finishing up. Welded all the outside of this thing, all along the outside, and plenty on the inside. Alright guys, back to more fun and games here. Got this right here to fix now. Ain't gonna be too bad, this is a pretty easy fix. So, because of how thin it is, it's about 1/4 inch. You go about this a couple ways. I'm probably just gonna take a grinder and open this up with a grinder, because a grinder is just going to be easier than pulling out the plasma. We'll hit it with the grinder, knock a bevel on this side, and then weld it, of course, 70/18, probably 1/8 inch 70/18 since I'm going flat. That right there really ain't going to be able to gouge or bevel that from that side without causing any damage to that spring. So I'm just going to slap a 70/18 over it. It'll be fine. So then the bottom side, we'll flip this over once it's welded, do the same thing, run a grinder on the back. And this side right here of this, we'll be able to run a grinder on that back side right there, knock a bevel in it to weld it. So what you want to do, if you put a weld just straight over the top, it'll fix it, right? But it won't last as long. If you can grind it out, because the crack will still be there. All you're doing is just making a little bridge over it if you just stick a weld over the crack. You're just making a bridge over it. We don't want to do that. We want to make this all one piece again. So what we're going to do, you can go about it all sorts of different ways. You can take a grinder, you can take a plasma, you can take a oxyacetylene torch, carbon arc gouger, however you want to bevel this out. You just have to bevel it out somehow for the best results. Also guys, check out these sick decals we got on the truck now. Heck yeah, clean as hell. And the new paint job on the truck, man, it's a deeper blue. It looks really good on this truck. And those of y'all who don't follow me on Instagram, I add a farm jack to the front, rearranged the lights. I got a winch on the front hooked into a 2-inch hitch receiver, so you can actually pull the pin, pull this out, and put this winch wherever it needs to go. And you can see I got my umbrella on the truck, but man, it's time to get a new one. I got a Black Stallion umbrella on order, should have it by the end of the week here, and it's going to replace that El Cheapo Walmart one. You good, guys? Look at that right there. That gap is perfect. They are ready to be welded right there. Now some of y'all might be wondering, you know, Derb, why'd you stick weld that instead of flux core? You know, big on flux core and stuff. Well, I get bored of a process after a while, I'll be honest. I do a lot of, I've done a lot of flux core this week. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just do some stick. And I've run a lot of 8, so I'll run some 332 7018. I like 332. Running about 90-95 amps, somewhere around that ballpark. And I find that it really lets me control the amps, not the amps, the heat. Exactly where the heat's going. I can control it very well with 332. I can direct that heat exactly to where I want it and not have to worry about, you know, it blowing into an area I don't want it. Like, I can focus up on the high side, on the low side of a joint or something like that. It really lets me focus the heat very precisely where I want it. And I can literally sit there and watch it bite in, unlike running some larger diameter rod over a small diameter crack or bevel. You kind of just watch it wash out to the corners. In this case, I'm actually pulling up, bites in, pull down, bites in, or if I'm going side to side, over this side, bites in, bites in, bites in. Just depends. And it'll work. 8th will work too. 8th would have totally done this. 532 would probably be a little bit much for it. But 332 and 1/8 could totally do this all day long. Alright, so let me give you a rundown of what we did basically. So, since I don't have time to sit down and narrate the video, I'm just going to speed up that last part, as you probably now have seen. This is what I did. 332 7018, 2 passes or 3 if needed. First pass, I ground it all the way. Then I did 1 stringer pass, and I stuck that thing right center line of the crack, and I followed the crack. Center line, even if the crack wasn't exactly the center of the bevel, I just followed the crack. And you want to be, you'll get that feeling as you get better. You want it to be where you feel like it's almost about to blow through the other side. Like you're riding that edge. If your speed and everything is, ooh, you know, if you slow down the least little bit, or if one hiccup, it's just going to blow a hole through it. You want to be right on that teeter and edge all the way to the end. And snap off. Let it cool. Then either two stringers over it, because that was a 1/4 inch, so you're only really going to get so many passes. 2 stringers over it, which I did on my horizontal, or what I did on a flat, I just did a weave across it, because that one, by the time you do that one pass, your root pass, you're almost at flush. So that's what I did. And like I said, you don't have to stick weld it. I could have dual shielded that in one pass and basically got about the same result, or flux cored it in 2 passes with the same result. But 7018 was the easiest to set up, so that's what I ran with. And I just used a normal ratchet strap to pull it back to where it, you know, I took the grinder, I ground it all out, and then I took the ratchet strap around underneath it back to the skid steer and just closed up that crack with the ratchet strap. I really need to get a chain ratchet. You know, so looks like a chain fall, except, you know, it's a ratcheting mechanism. I need to get one of those, but I found just a heavy duty $20 ratchet strap from Tractor Supply will do 90% of what I need to do.